Advocates are calling on Congress to pass a correction to what's called the 9/11 first responders and survivors health funding bill. Now, some people who are in Congress, elected officials, say if the government does not act now, this fund will run out. CBS 2's Natalie Duddridge spoke with people who desperately need this money.
My baby was like 10 months old when I started noticing that they were all just getting like ear infections and sinus infections over and over again.
Mariama James had 2 young kids and was 8 months pregnant, living near the Twin Towers when they collapsed. She says her entire family was exposed to toxic dust.
I actually lost my dad in May to 9/11 related COPD. My mom is a stage 4 colon cancer survivor, and my children also, and myself, also suffer with like upper and lower respiratory diseases.
James joined first responders and elected leaders to call on Congress to pass a bill called the Survivor Health Funding Correction Act. One of the asks to research the effects of toxic exposure to the more than 35,000 people who were children at the time of the attack going to school or daycare in the area.
2 days after the attack, Christy Todd Whitman held a press conference to say the air was safe to breathe. It was not safe.
But the main focus of the bill to fix a funding shortfall in the World Trade Center's health program that now supports more than 100,000 survivors.
We need additional resources because the cost of inflation for medical expenses is far higher than the normal cost of inflation.
And a sobering stat we heard here today. Officials say 3/4 of firefighters who responded on 9/11 now have some form of illness.
The next 20 years are going to decimate us. More and more people are going to get sick, more and more people are going to die.
John Field lost his foot while working as a demolition supervisor at Ground Zero in the days following the 9/11 attacks. He's been fighting with Congress ever since to ensure medical benefits are funded for first responders and survivors through 2090. But right now, officials say it could dry up as soon as 2025. On the Upper East Side, Natalie Duddridge, CBS 2 News.
CBS 2 is paying tribute to the heroes and those lost on September 11th. Join us tonight for a special tribute. Never forgotten, 9/11, 20 years later. You'll hear untold stories from that fateful day. It's a special presentation. I speak with former FDNY Commissioner Thomas Von Essen, his reflections on the tragedy 20 years ago.